Right, so warm welcome to our Leaders Exchange series. This is hosted by us, Global Talent Exchange and Bridgelabz. I'm Avinash, one of the founders of Global Talent Exchange. It's an honor and my privilege to host a panel like yourselves. We are an exclusive global recruiting platform mobilizing emerging tech talent from skill-rich areas to areas with skill shortages. You've heard of reverse brain drain. Likewise, we're working on a concept called as global brain circulation, where talent moves across geographies seamlessly. And Bridgelabz is India's largest skilled job platform for deep tech talent that gives guaranteed outcomes for both talent and businesses. And it's our collective endeavor to, bridge the talent gap in India. To lead this discussion forward, of course, we have Sonia Srikanth, who's the Global Director Engagement, HR, Global Employee Engagement. She comes with over 2+ decades of experience in all gamuts of HR, presently leading the global engagement at Cyient. And on the personal side, she's a classical dancer, loves to pursue her passion in dancing, as always. So over to you, Sonia. You're on mute.
Thank you, Avinash, and thanks for this introduction. We welcome the esteemed panel. I know we have people from across all the industries over there, and it would be wonderful to understand from all of you a lot of information about what are the present trends in talent acquisition. And we also have a diverse panel over here, so we can understand the diversity included in terms of the present hiring trends over here. And without further ado, I would want the panel to get on with their introduction so that we are all aware of who all are present with us over here. We start off with Preeti. You can start it off from your side.
Thanks, Sonia. So just to introduce, I am heading the HR department of Verisys Global, and Verisys is into product development, and we work on US healthcare domain. Here in India, our technology center is there, where we do the product development part as well as technology enablement, otherwise supporting clients as and when required. So yes, I am heading here the complete HR operations, though it's talent acquisition, employee engagement, comp and benefits, all comes under me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Preeti. And I would just move on to our next panelist. While we will have all our panelists introducing themselves, we will then start with our next round, wherein we will be taking it up in terms of some specific questions over there. So our next panelist, Shalini, I hope, Shobha, we have all of them so that I can just take them one by one.
Yeah, we have all of them joined. It's just from Mobilium, we have one missing candidate, but rest all of them have joined.
Great, thank you. So our next panelist, I think it is Shalini. Is she there?
Sonia, I think we can go as per the order we see on the screen.
Okay, so I am taking it from the phone. 1 second.
Okay, do you want me to, go around, Sonia?
Yeah, Avinash, if you can help me, because
sure.
the Zoom link didn't open in the laptop, so in the phone it is not to be seen.
Sure. Fair enough. So Shikha, I think we will go with you next.
Yes, sure. I'm just unmuting. Hi, good morning, and thank you for this platform. My name is Shikha, as we all can see, and the company I represent is Noventiq, and I manage the India region as an HR director. So we are a global provider of IT solution and services specializing in digital transformation and cybersecurity. And yes, a lot is going on in this space, and I think what all we are here is making digital India coming to the reality. So that's all we are working on together. So yes, thank you.
Shikha, welcome. Shivali.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. So myself Shivali, and I'm representing Clensta International Private Limited. So we are a beauty, personal care, and healthcare, domain segment, and we are backed up by innovation and technology. Started with waterless product solution, and then entered into the BPC domain. And I'm very happy and glad to be a part of this forum. I'm currently heading HR here in the capacity of Vice President HR and OD, taking care of end-to-end HR modules, be it recruitments, engagement, and payroll compensation in every aspect. Recruitments in last couple of years have been a very important and crucial part at Clensta, where we have increased our headcount from 30 to 200 plus. So yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Shivali. Welcome. I think we in fact have a lopsided panel today. I mean, we have more women on the panel than men. So just to break the color, let's get Nitin Kapoor in.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Nitin.
Okay. I guess that's a standard question that in virtual meetings, can you hear me and can you see me, right? Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, Avinash, for inviting me to this excellent panel. I am Nitin Kapoor. My background is that I was in the armed forces for 30 years. And then in April last year, I decided to innovate, and I kind of moved on to the corporate world, and I'm the head of people success and human capital at Lumic. It's a data and analytics firm. I specifically do not use the word data analytics, I call it data and analytic firms in the BFSI sector. We've got more than 40 clients in India and some expansion in the United States as well as in Southeast Asia. So as far as the number of, we call ourselves Lumikers because of our name is Lumic. And we were around 50 or 60 people in 2022 January, and today the headcount is at 400. So we're going at a healthy pace, and my job is to ensure that some sense in the expansion and the growth. So real pleasure to be here, and I look forward to all the discussions and pointers that come out.
So welcome, Nitin. Thanks so much for being here. And Nimisha, we'll go with you next.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for having me. So my name is Nimisha Chatterjee, and I'm from Clean Harbors, India. We are a GCC of Clean Harbors. So Clean Harbors is basically a environmental service company organization leading North American Canada region. We are into the industry from past 43 years. And as a GCC, we are in India from past 5 years. We have our presence in Hyderabad, Pune, and I lead the HRBP from Bangalore region, so Bangalore office. So that's all about myself.
Welcome, Misha. Saba.
Thanks, Avinash. Hello, everybody. Thanks for the platform. I think it's a great platform to have these meaningful conversations, issues, dynamics that we're all dealing with. So I represent Mindsprint. We are a global tech solutions and services organization. I'm the global head of talent acquisition here, and very happy to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Welcome, Saba. Bhavya.
Hey guys, and thanks for inviting me. So I represent Nashtech Global. I'm playing the role of CTO for India location. And primarily, right, we have been working in the software space, right? And I have primarily been part of a lot of data and analytics projects, as well as we are helping our clients, right, to choose the right technology set.
All right. Welcome, Bhavya. Dipanwita, you want to go?
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Dipanwita. I work for Embitel Technologies. I have a very long delivery background and last 4 years I am heading the learning and org development at Embitel Technologies. I think my challenge is, of course, learning. You see, it has become a challenge these days with things changing every other day. And even org development for that matter. When COVID started, we were talking about employee engagement, wellness, but then even organizations are changing drastically. So I look forward to learning a lot from you as to what you are doing to keep your organization agile and growing together.
Welcome, Dipanwita. And we have Vishal Choksi from Bridgelabz. Vishal, over to you.
Hi, morning everyone, and just great to be a part of this discussion. I'm having a bit of a strained throat, so I'm just warming it up with a good tea. So bear with me. So just to quickly introduce, my name is Vishal Choksi. Potential learning journey of about 21 years. Started as a developer for a US-based company. From there, moved on to Tata's for about 8 years. It was primarily into telecom. Then moved into capital markets, having a global play. After that, I was more inquisitive to see how I can contribute at large. So dabbled with retail space in a startup company. Then last 8 years have been in education. Initially, a couple of years into vocational education. And what I realized when I became a part of Bridgelabz as a founding member, as a co-founder, is what I have been doing all this while in my career. Bridgelabz is what stands for, which is about experientially learning and getting the talent ready for the industry. So bridging that gap between the need of the industry and the ready, fresh talent gets that space to do an internship kind of a stint and then get into the job as a job ready candidate. So that's what Bridgelabz does. We've been kind of 8 years old now. About 5,000 plus candidates have got into the livelihood through us, and very happy to have about 87% of them who come in from tier 2, 3, 4 cities. So contributing to those areas. At the same time, also having a play in metros. 33% of them are females. We would love to have them at a higher percentage, which was there as a pre-COVID phenomena. But now we're seeing it as 33%. So basically, what Bridgelabz is all about is like how you have net practice or a practice match that the kids would play, and then they would be looked at by a coach, say Rahul Dravid or Ravi Shastri would look at them and then identify where they fit in, and then put them in the right zone for them to be able to play well. They'll play some practice matches and then they go about and get ready for the main outing. So like how in chartered accountancy we have articleship, in law we have apprenticeship, in medical there is a residency program. So that's what Bridgelabz is for, the software talent, the programming IT talent that is there. We were primarily the first ones to start this model. So yeah, that's more about me and Bridgelabz. Thanks.
Thank you, Vishal. Sonia, over to you. You're on mute. No, we can't hear you.
So Avinash, just to fill in the space,
Yes, yeah. Yeah, please, Vishal.
I wanted to mention a salute to Nitin. Uh, just a lot of respect for the armed forces, and thank you for being there when it's needed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your sentiment.
Sonia kind of, gets set up. Can we just go around the, table with a couple of opening statements from each one of you in terms of your strategy from a talent acquisition perspective for the year 2024? Of course, we're kind of just getting started. A lot has changed, from the time we've hit the pandemic to now, to Great Recession, to hiring freezes, to markets slowly opening up now. What is happening at your end, and how do you see talent acquisition panning out over the next few quarters? We'll, probably start with Nitin, and then we go around the table.
Okay, so I guess there are a lot of views to be gathered, and I'll not take much time. So the strategy that Avinash, we've been following for the last 2 years, and it's really bearing a lot of fruit versus campus hires, and we're getting some excellent talent through our tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and we have because we look at campus hires not as a solution but as a strategy. That means even if the market is slowing down and there are job cuts and things like that, but we continue to invest in young people. Probably I mentioned earlier also that more than 85% of our company is less than 28 years of age. So we are dealing with the millennials and the primarily the millennials at this stage, and a little bit of Gen X. But the fact of the matter is that we are very, very focused on campus hiring. And the other thing is to manage these large pool of young people that we have is to look at maybe people with an experience with the right skill sets, leadership skills in the 6 to 7 year experience bracket, so that they're agile and they are kind of in tune with what's going on. And they are able to kind of make a good mix and mesh, understanding each other's. The last point that I'd like to make is that the strategy that we follow is that, okay, you have some given skills as far as tech expertise and computer engineering is concerned. But for us, the ability to be culturally aligned, to be confident, to be able to communicate yourself well is very, very critical. And we pay a lot of attention to this, primarily because in our case, sometimes what happens is that within 6 months, these campus hires are actually talking to clients and interacting with fairly senior level people on the other side. So this is the strategy that we follow, and I'd love to hear the views of others. Thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome. Super, Nitin. You're saying social skills, softer aspects, very, very important there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll probably go with Shikha next.
Yes, I mean, from last I've joined this organization in the year 2020, right? I think a week before pandemic. and never knew that the entire landscape going to change in terms of IT specific. I mean, for all of us, and the way we have digitized in last 2 years has been very commendable, and that's what we all are aiming here. So a lot has been changed and a lot has been going on. And in terms of, as I said, the landscape is evolving very rapidly, and the growth in the tech-driven sector, and especially the increase of employability plus the skills gap is equally growing at the same time. So for us as a Noventiq, as we are a mid-sized organization headquartered in London, and then we have operations widespread in India and Europe and Latin region. And so a lot has been done in this space. And from a talent strategy perspective, each year the strategy has been very different for us, seeking the last 2 years we did a lot of migrations on cloud, and we did a lot of acquisition in last 2 years. As an organization, have we grown organically and inorganically? So likewise, our strategy. So we have we have a lot of talent which has been acquired in last 2 years across the globe. So the M&A has been the focus area for us a lot in this space, and so again a blended workforce is what our strategy too, because we cannot just have all lateral. It's kind of a campus also plays an equivalent role into this, and at the same time, as a technology strength, we are growing. So we are a Microsoft partner on higher on that status. Now we are also dealing with AWS. Now we are also dealing with Google. We are also dealing with, so all that is a technology arm length which we connected together and amplifying the talent and expansion in new geographies and expansion in new areas. The portfolio expansions and the geographies expansion has been an our outlook since last 2 years. And what we have done in last 2 years is a digital transformation. It's what we are on the space that we were using certain systems. We were using a kind of a broken services within the HR department. But now we are very fully fleshed tag. We got the entire HRMS suite to at least get the basic in place. So once we have the consistency to run our operations in a digitized fashion, be it where we can track, time to fill or the quality of hire, candidate experience, or a cost per hire and the source of hire. So we are on that journey from last year to tracking all that so that we bring the consistency in what we are doing, so that a lot of data is flashing to us to understand and predict that what we wanted to do with that. Now, be it we wanted to hire from tier 2 or hire from tier 1 or hire from colleges campus. So yes, a lot of data is building internally now for us as a next transformation to use that data in a more meaningful form. So for us, this year is going to be a fully digital transformation year in terms of talent acquisition. And yes, a lot of focus on AI and a big shift from service to a digital transformation partner. That's the entire positioning of the company going to be placed. So yes, a lot has to be done in this space.
So data-driven decisions, and while you are talking about digital transformation for your customers, the same is happening internally as well, Shikha, right? Fantastic. So Shivali, we'll come to you. You're on mute.
Yes. So of course, very happy to hear the insights from both of you. And of course, we are into an era where we are focusing mostly on the automation, and and the new technology has taken a very good place. Where AI, IoTs have been playing a wonderful role. So for Clensta, we have been involved onto focusing on the online sales, which is D2C and e-commerce segment. And last year we planned to extend our speed to enter into the offline sales as well. So there was, I think, addition of almost 100 plus employees in the list. And the approach was very simple. We have put in the strategy. Number one is that we have tried to pick up the industry leaders from the similar domain, the similar startup ecosystem, BPC industry. And that has really helped us to bring in the expertise and the knowledge that is required to align with the goals of the organization that we have right now. And on the contrary to it, what we did is we have started hiring freshers, from tier 1, tier 2 colleges, which I feel was a very good decision from our side, wherein the freshers were, pretty much enthusiastic. They have this willingness to learn, and as Clensta is right now, of course, a company that is backed up by innovation and technology, we really would like to promote such kind of innovative thinking, where people from the fresh perspective, they are coming in, sharing some insight. So we have, one side we have the experts and the leaders who are helping these freshers, from tier one, tier two colleges, those who are able to implement what they are learning in the theoretical form. So that is, two things that we have done. Apart from that, we have started, increasing our focus on the social media platform, because the candidate who is about to apply, who is about to join your organization, should have a very good understanding that what the brand is doing on the cultural side. So I think that has given us a very good upper hand, while we are able to share what exactly we do on a day-to-day basis in terms of cultural engagement, and how we really would like to promote all the employees who are joining us. While we interview, we very would like to ensure that we are not just asking people to join as an employee, but we discuss with them that what's their plan for next 3 to 5 years, and how we can align our goals along with their growth. So while the business is growing, we would like to ensure that the employees, either it's a fresher or an intern or any other leader, they are ensuring their growth for next 3 to 5 years. So this has really helped us. These 2 3 initiatives that these have really helped us to ensure that we have the right talent in place.
Nice inputs there, Shivali. Saba, you want to go next?
Sure. As you asked this question, I was actually thinking about it because we are a growing, budding young organization, and there's so much that has happened in the last 1.5 2 years within the organization. I think for us, because we had to sort of transform the organization, we had to start to rethink about, what is our talent strategy. And it all started with, we started assessing, where are we in terms of what is the talent we have today, what is the talent we need today, and then what is the talent we will need tomorrow. And a lot of skill, approach as well, like focus on skills. What are the skills that we will need in the future? Right. And that all led to, a well laid out strategy for the next 3 to 5 years in terms of what do we want to do. And this strategy involves, of course, a great focus on, campuses, tier 2, tier 3 campuses, intake of a lot of fresher talent because they bring in lot of enthusiasm, energy, innovation, fresh thinking, and they are easily moldable, right? And that has given us a lot of good results. The second aspect was, I think, our collaboration with some finishing schools, training schools, that also helped us quite a bit. People with 0 to 3 years of experience being trained on different technologies by different training schools, and bringing in their fresh insights and fresh talent. And then towards the mid-layer and senior sections of the pyramid of the organization, of course, we needed a lot of experienced talent, which we brought from different industry domains, looking at what is it that we really need from a business strategy perspective. While we were doing all of this, I think a lot of agile-driven approach in terms of pivoting to see what is really working for us, and very strong collaboration with business leaders in terms of evaluating what are the things that are working for us in the whole talent acquisition or talent management space, right from which assessments to use, which campuses to go to. Do we need an assessment versus an interview? Do we need a panel interview or a case study? Do we need some AI to kind of quicken the pace of hiring? What sort of ATS, we need? Do we need to change where we are today? So all these things kept pivoting throughout the year. And I think this has really helped us create a strong baseline of where we want to go. So that's all I would like to say. I think it's been exciting.
Awesome. So what's coming common across most organizations is fresh talent coming in from the tier 2, tier 3 cities. I think that's an interesting, point, I guess, for us to look for. I think Preeti, you want to go next? Sonia, I think if you're on, over to you.
Yes, Avinash. So, yeah, as you were discussing, so I am not denying any fact which other panel members have shared. Of course, we are also taking the route of digitization using the help of ATS platforms where we can build a strong database. But at the same time, because what we do is we require very niche skills where we cannot hire freshers directly from the college because there is a gap. And as you is I guess there is industry for and education for gap is there, so we are not able to absorb them directly from college and get them into our live project. So as Vishal mentioned earlier, that Brizlab does that, fills that gap. They play practice matches there, and we use that. And once they are ready to play once they are done with the practice matches, they are ready for the World Cup or their main event. We absorb them, and then yes, we see how it goes. And like investing in early talent is helping us because invest them in upskilling them in their growth so they stay with us, and when they come to us they are ready to, because they are fresh talent, they are ready to learn, unlearn, relearn. So there's no problem in adaptability from their side. So yeah, so we are focusing on early talent but not from colleges because that's not gonna work with us. But yeah, with Brizlab, like companies help us, Vishal helps us in making them project ready. So we have taken that strategy, and yes, digitization and AI is definitely the best tools what we are using right now. We have a ready database from where, like, if we need a experienced candidate who comes with conventional ideas, where we need his leadership guidance and a traditional approach, yes, we use that database and we have from there. So yeah, that's the strategy. And because the industry has changed pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, so we have to keep our strategy also changing. And 2024, since last year, this strategy is working for us and it's going good. We are able to adopt it globally and it's working well. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Preeti. Avinash, am I audible now?
Yes, absolutely clear. Loud and clear.
Finally, I mean, there is all kinds of challenges what I'm having, but nevertheless, thank you, Avinash, for coming in and helping us out in terms of the order. Uh, do we have Dipanwita giving her details? I mean, I was off and in the middle.
Yeah,
So
hi.
is it there, or do we have to have we closed out with everybody?
So,
Because
yeah,
I couldn't.
what we're doing is we're just going around the table with a couple of opening statements in terms of TA, what's happened in the past, what's the current strategy for the year. So a few of them have spoken. I think you can start. You can go with Dipanwita, and then also if you have a point to make, please raise your hand, and Sonia will come to you. You can do that as well. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you. And with all this technology, definitely technology is good for us. But at times when we are not able to work around with technology, this is what happens. And we need an ally. And today, Avinash was my ally today in terms of ensuring that the roundtable conference goes on in a proper way. Over to you, Dipanwita. I just wanted to check out because everybody has mentioned about the pre-pandemic and the post-pandemic. How did it affect you and the organization? Dipanwita, over to you.
Yeah, I think Preeti just mentioned, things were very different pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. And we really experienced it like that. We were about 450 people pre-COVID, and now we are 900 people. So things have changed drastically, and we want to be 2,000 people by the end of 2025. So earlier, yeah, lateral hires, yeah, so, fresh grads would join us, but now we have a strategy of it is not easy. You saw the great resignation, how it happened, talent moving everywhere else. So we have a strategy of growing talent from within. But that is, we have a multi-pronged approach. One is we are hiring really gems and experts in very small numbers, right? One is that. So they bring in the knowledge, the commitment, the expertise, and we grow talent around them from within. Right. So that is one strategy. And the other strategy that we have is, I think somebody mentioned about early talent and fresh grad. Yes, we are also moving, expanding. Earlier, we were just in, Bangalore, and we had a small office in Pune. Then, we moved in, we opened an office in Ahmedabad, we opened an office in Coimbatore. And this is really, really helping us. And we are doing, with the fresh grads, we are doing pre-engagement. And even after they join, we are having those 3 months training, and then we don't leave them after that, just put them on projects. No, we are investing in them to get into R&D, to do explorative projects. So in addition to the work they are assigned, we are also keeping a constant engagement with them to come up with new things, or with existing product, what more can be done. So that kind of a thing is happening, a multi-pronged approach, where we have not left out the lateral talent fully, but reduce the numbers there, looking at fresh and early talents and grooming them a lot to make sure they stay on and they can be molded.
Thank you, Dipanwita. Thank you. That was wonderful. We come across with a lot of fresh talent coming up with good ideas. This has come up from many of y'all. So I go to Vishal from Bridgelabz. We wanted to check what is the present trend going on in Bridgelabz. You have already mentioned about 33% of women in your team. So over to you, Vishal.
Thanks, Sonia, and just relax. I think we do have these challenges of the systems coming across. I think in my response, I would also cover what Avinash has asked as well. What is the strategy and how we look at doing these things? So mainly the thing is what we preach. So we work with large MNCs like Capgemini, Emphasis, Oracle, KPMG, even startups like Series ABC startups, mid-stage mature companies. And what we preach to them is what we do internally as well. So we have a pool of freshers who come in through a filtration process. And what we actually look at is whether they have the analytical and the logical skills, whether they are having a collaborative approach and the willingness to learn and give it their best. That's the filtration that we primarily do. It's a very inclusive approach versus an exclusion approach that a lot of them have. So we are open to take anyone. There's no bifurcation with respect to the stream of education that they come in from. Obviously, to the industry, we have to cater to the engineers and that segment, but we are open to take anyone in as long as they demonstrate those requirements that we have. And then they are put for a few brief months of internship. And during this period, our team of coaches and mentors looks at them, and then they are able to identify that where they will be fit for. That's the larger approach that we preach to everyone, and we do it for ourselves as well. So a lot of young talent comes in, and at some point of time, we also know that they'll kind of move forward for their own journey. But a lot of them work with us for a longer time. There's no one glove fit all approach that we can have, but that's the thing. The other thing, Sonia, is what you asked. I can say that from an inclusive perspective, we do have a lot of females coming in and taking up the software development coding thing, and I would say that 33% is something which is growing. I've seen that it keeps on climbing month on month as we follow that, and also the feedback that we get from our own clients is very positive about the approach that a female candidate brings in, the differentiators that they bring in, and the way that they approach to a problem. With all due respects to the other side of the spectrum, uh, but that's the thing that I would say. So we keep it as an open thought process. Anyone and everyone can come in as long as the basic factors are taken care of, and then hone them and take them to the next level. That's the strategy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vishal, for this. I just wanted to mention, in case anybody is having any kind of a question to another panelist, please raise your hand so that we can get you to ask that particular question. My question to Shivani over there. Shivani, in case if we have to ask you, in what ways can organization foster an entrepreneurial mindset among their employees, and why is it crucial for our future readiness? You can take this up, Shivani.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for asking this question, which is a wonderful question, I'm sure. So of course that I believe, and we all must believe that, entrepreneurial journey and to incorporate that in the corporates nowadays is a crucial part. So if we talk about it, how we can encourage the entrepreneurial journey, I think we can encourage it through a culture of innovation and experimentation. So the employees were feel empowered enough to take risk and to pursue new ideas, because we all understand that while we talk about entrepreneurship, it's all about thinking out of the box, to take a slight risk, and to bring in such ideas that a normal employee won't be able to take very easily. And this, I'm sure, is of course providing chances for people to gain insight. So at Clensta also, we are offering chances in the traditional way, to incorporate entrepreneurship initiatives like innovation, innovation in terms of the events that we do, rewards recognition, hackathons, these kind of things that we are doing right now. But along with it, I think the most important part that we all need to focus is upon giving ownership and accountability to the people that are part of this entrepreneurship initiative. So while you give ownership and accountability, the employees are able to take decisions that helps them to cultivate the entrepreneurial mindset. So this is something which we have incorporated. Clensta, as I mentioned earlier, also during the interviews, we ensure that candidates are not just sharing about their technical skills, but also are able to convey and tell us about their own journey, wherein they would like to participate in such a way that they're taking complete ownership and accountability for what they're doing. Of course, it may seems a little risky at first, but I'm sure that gradually with time, even if they're making mistakes, the leadership team here is so much supportive that even if they're making mistakes, they are helping them to, not to repeat those mistakes. And with regular ownership and accountability process, I'm sure that, we have seen a lot of people, even, after Clensta also, we have seen them, starting their own startup. They are having places in the organization where they're playing the roles at the top leadership level. So and that's important. We should not only be thinking about employees working for our organization. Wherever the employees are going, even it's here or anywhere else, they should have that learning with themselves. So this is one approach, I think, which really build confidence and promote the entrepreneur mindset. Of course, small steps have to be taken by the organization, to engage these employees into problem solving, not to restrict them to give their suggestion and to bring some kind of initiatives on the table. So we have to be very broad-minded, we have to be very open-minded, we have to be very acceptable, while anybody would like to take ownership and they would like to suggest some ideas, because only with out of the box thinking, only with acceptance, I think we will be able to promote entrepreneurial mindset. That's what I personally feel, and we are implementing that in Clensta as well.
Thank you, Shivani. Shikha, you have raised your hand.
Yes.
Would you like to ask anything?
And no, not specifically asking. It's just a contribution from an experience perspective, specifically when Vishal told about Bridgelabz. And I think this was a struggle for us also 3 years back to get a right talent in place. Now, there can't be a one-size-fit approach all. I mean, that's what I've experienced, because we all have been, in our space told to do, more with less. Now that to do more with less can be, can be splitted into many different parts. Like if you say that as a company, talent is very strategic in nature now, as during this entire last 3 years, the lot of scenarios has been changed. So what we really wanted to do, and kind of a money organization are interested in spending in, and at the same time, it has to be driven a lot from a top leadership too. At the same time, because are you saying that okay, that you are a mid-sized organization, you wanted to have your own in-house team running that for you completely, to go to the colleges, collaborate, to have your campus division within it, and then you train them, you spend on their learning and development, and there's another approach that you completely outsource that entire practice, and then you want everything trained and you're ready to spend, and then you want all trained people. And specifically, I mean, definitely when they join the organization, the L&D intervention starts right from their joining. So as I always believe in that, onboarding never stops through the organization. As you stay, as long as in the organization, the onboarding continue to happen for something or other, whether we are innovating as a digitizing or bringing the new technology. Right from your hire to retire, our process of onboarding is lifelong as we are in the organization. I mean, this is personally, we are experiencing it and we are seeing it right from there when the candidate join, and then to train them for their succession planning, for their L&D skills, for L&D or for their behavior skills, so that they can behave in a particular fashion to grow that skill. If they can be a technical consultant, how they can be an AI solution consultant. So all that transformation is happening, and I think now companies has to make their decision whether they have a capability to completely cater it in-house, or they need a partners like Bridgelabz to help and support them. So it's like no one-size-fit approach, and specifically a lot has to be done to do collaboration with those colleges at the early stages, because kind of a technology and the skill gap we have it in IoT, cybersecurity, AL, MI, this is not going to be fixing up just with this. A lot has to be collaborated from an industry, from a college perspective, to do those collaboration and to bring that skills development portfolio so that everybody can take an advantage of it. So that's my take on it.
Right. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shikha. So, Bhavya, over to you. I just wanted to check out over there with you on what are the present trends which you see in terms of technology, which all these freshers and all the hiring, present hires, lateral hires or freshers need to take up with to be in pace with the industry ask?
Right. I think 2020, right, during the peak of COVID, it was a transformational era for Indian IT as well as the world IT, right? So if I talk about, right, so it was a situation where everyone was looking to sustain their business, right? Because there were lockdowns, right? People cannot go to office. So there was an era, right, where a lot of cloud migrations took place, right? People started believing in cloud, and a lot of people, right, who was not very well versed with cloud technologies, right, they started adopting cloud technologies. And And now I think from the current trend perspective, right, it is no secret that AI ML is breaking new grounds, right? So whether we are talking about generative AI, right, whether we are talking about semantic search, whether we are talking about maybe different cloud platforms which have become very mature in terms of data and analytics. So from current trend perspective, right, if I am looking at what market is asking, right, and what is the kind of demand that exists today. So I think the top will be AI ML, right? The people should know about how to basically build their own models, or at least how to use the existing models to drive certain outputs, right, which the organizations are looking for. Similarly, if you see for last few years, right, what has happened is there is one field, right, which is very kind of neglected in India, that is RPA, which is robotic process automation. And a lot of these companies, right, they are looking to actually to eliminate a lot of manual work, right, through RPA. So that is also gaining a lot of traction, right? I see there is a definitive need for the same. Similarly, if I talk about, right, so initially when we started our career, right, at least from the technology perspective, so it was always that we should be good in one language, right, and we should focus on one stream of activity. Like for example, I started with Kapoor, right, and then I groomed myself into Java, and then Scala and other Rust and other technologies, right. Now I think if I see, right, so most of the organizations, right, and that is, so there are many esteemed members here, right, they will also like a guy, right, who is well versed with almost all the development principles, right. So whether it's, you can talk about whether he should know a bit of front end programming, right, he should know a bit of back end programming, right, maybe he know 2 or 3 languages in both the space. He should also be very well versed with the DevOps principles, right. So nowadays, right, when you are looking for people, you are looking for people, right, who have an overall full stack development kind of a role, right, and I think as we move forward towards the future, right, this particular notion is going to further strengthen that we need people, right, with multifunctional skills, not dependent on one particular skill, because I don't think that in future you will be able to grow if you have a particular skill and then you keep on adding to that skill. So that
Thank
is
you.
my thought process, Sonia.
Thank you, Bhavya. And you're absolutely right. Most of them get complacent. They are in a certain zone where they feel that they don't need any kind of an add-on in terms of technology, and then the growth gets affected. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bhavya. So,
Yep, thanks,
Saba,
Sonia.
over to you.
Thanks, Sonia. Actually,
So
I had a, sorry, I had
yeah,
a,
go ahead.
as Bhavya was speaking, and in my capacity as the global head for talent acquisition, I could actually resonate with it a lot. It's becoming increasingly difficult to find the right talent for our corporations, and the reason is that they need those multi-dimensional skilled people who probably don't exist, right? And therefore, what is really needed is, and what we have done in our organization is that you really look for, okay, what are the key skills that are needed? You collaborate with hiring managers, you collaborate with the learning and development team to really identify someone with skill A, cross-train them on skill B, and then give them on-the-job training for some period before they can become fully productive. So that investment is really the need of the hour today. Because the needs keep changing, right? As the technology is evolving, the needs of the organizations are also changing pretty fast. So everybody has to pivot and keep thinking about, okay, what can we do differently? And the second point is around, the skill gap that somebody spoke earlier, right? There is a huge skill gap today. What organizations need versus what our educational institutes offer. I think there is a big gap over there. And therefore, when we're going to campuses, I think that collaboration, partnership in terms of, whether it is co-defining the course curriculum, making it more practical, skill-based, experience-based, to having a very rigorous training approach when they are inducted into the organizations to really make them productive, which is what we have done. So as soon as we get people from campuses, they will go through a very rigorous boot camp to really train them on different skills, technologies, and also soft skills are equally important, right? Sometimes we overlook the soft skills, for example, communication skills, problem solving, how can they collaborate with different people, bring forth new ideas, etc., etc. So I think organizations have to really look at it in a 360-degree way, and invest a lot of time and effort into thinking, okay, what's going to work for us?
Right. Thank you, Saba. Nimisha, I wanted to check with you on the same question. Do you also find in your organization a lot of these challenges in terms of candidates not being up to date with the technology? So,
Sure. Yeah, definitely, Sonia. So I think what we had seen in 2023 are, I would like to take up the challenges, what we had seen from 2023, and then see that, how we can take it up. So most of the things we had seen, though the candidates, bring up for the higher packages, that is, they wanted above the industry standards because they feel that definitely they bring the value to the table, right? Or probably in terms of asking the culture, right? What it is, the organization culture is what something which they are looking forward to, and also on the learning opportunities or the career development. So when we see all these things, but it is also important to understand from the organization perspective how much the candidate is bringing, not only to the present, but for the future. And when we're talking about future, all of you have already mentioned about the technology and the Gen AI playing the role. So it's not only the technical skills, right? Also gradation with the what we call soft skills or transferable skills. So I want to focus more on the transferable skills because it's not irrespective to one industry or one sector, but then some of these skills, right, being agile, right, irrespective of different industries, if the candidate is bringing those skills, is what we would look to hire. Okay. Secondly is the learning, right? The learning agility. So that's also, it is important factor to understand how much the person is keen to learn irrespective of the industry or the sector or the technology. Okay. And number third, definitely in terms of communication, because some of these skills we talk about, communication is definitely going to be there. And we also see that if it is towards a leadership role, okay, so skills like empathy, compassionate, right? So these are also into the picture, to evaluate how are they bringing these skills, because of course the technology is taking care of certain part of the roles, but how are these transferable skills playing a vital role for the candidate? And that's how we are looking into it.
thank you. Thanks a lot, Nimisha. We now have Vishal raising your hand. So Vishal, over to you. You wanted to put in certain more pointers on this particular subject.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia. I actually wanted to echo a few things that Bhavya was mentioning. I think India is going to be the capital for robotics as well as AI. So I keep joking around with my friends who are spread across the world that India will have one more race, one more ethnicity, which is about the bots. and and somewhere we'll have to come with an Aadhaar card or something for them as well, because that's going to grow. So as many people who are serving physically and in flesh and blood, we'll also have bots serving organizations and the world. So it's going to be a complete new phenomena which we have to learn, unlearn, learn, and grow with. So whatever Bhavya is saying, that's true. And when you have that, you also need to have a lot of all-rounders in the team. Today, T20 culture, all-rounders are more worth as a thing. So base has to be right so that they are able to do a lot of things, and basis of that you have you hone them in the right direction and take them through. So that's what I wanted to contribute and share to Bhavya and the others what they mentioned.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vishal. And you're absolutely right. What's taking over, human interventions over there are going to be reduced in the near future. And that's the future what we are going to see. Shivani, you have raised Shivali, Tandon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shivali this side.
You
Yeah.
had raised your
So I
hand.
think yeah. Thank you. So most of the points I think have been already shared here. But what I was just about to share is that after COVID and during COVID, what we realized that technology, like access to technology, is pretty easy right now for everyone, right? If we go on any AI or bot, we have all the information that's required. But we need to at the same time understand that sometimes technology, multiple technology domains can really confuse us also. So it's very important for us to have and take right decision that how to implement the right technology for the right requirement that we have. And this is one point I think which is very very important. And of course the professionals, if in case they would like to remain relevant in the workforce, they need to be aligned. But as an organization, I think it's very important for us to first align our goals while the transformation in the technology, segment is happening, so that we are hiring the right candidate who are well versed in tech and non-tech domains and can really contribute. One incident, one personal example that I felt that where people and the candidates who were coming from a diversified domain and industry have multiple skills. So we were not, and these people were very very good, right, in academics and the way they showcase their skills. So what we were very confused know that in which department and which vertical we should be hiring them for. So we introduced these profiles like chief of staff, entrepreneur in residence, and associates that are working directly in the founder's office. So this has really helped us to see that gradually in 10 to 11 months, while they were working some technological implementations and working directly with the industry leaders, they have transformed their role where they have got access to the highest required skills, and then they were able to transform their own role, either it's non-tech or tech, or both of them. So this is what I just wanted to share, while rest of the members have shared wonderful points. Yeah.
Thank you, Shivali. So I get on to the next subject or in talent acquisition. As of now, with the hybrid model of working coming in, most of us do experience this particular challenge of candidates still wanting to work from home. So I would put this question up on the table, and we would go to we would now go to Shivali back, or
Right.
Saba can take this up, or Preeti can take this up, whoever wants to take this up. How do you find this particular challenge being taken up by most of the organizations? Because it is very, very difficult to get associates back to work now.
I'm
and
sure.
most of the candidates are asking during the interviews whether they can work from home. So,
Yeah.
Preeti, I would ask you on how are you taking this up in your organization?
Yes, Sonia, great question, because this is what we have experienced. And recently we announced being remote first company. That means that we have given our employees flexibility to permanently work from home. We tried doing surveys, we tried taking polls, we tried understanding the pulse of the employees, whether they want to come even hybrid mode, they are okay to come to office, or one day in a week or once in a month, but we didn't get positive response. So we have recently decided and announced that we are going to be remote first, where if someone wants to come to office, they can come here and work, whereas we are not forcing anyone to come to office, because we faced attrition problems when we tried to force the employees. And as I mentioned earlier, our skill set is like the people we are having, they have niche skill sets and they are easily getting jobs in the market. So we have to be flexible, and we addressed it. And what we faced is like even India, like IT tech sector, whatever talent is, they are highly versatile. They are they are capable of taking care, solving complex problems, managing digital front end to back end functions of global corporations. So instead of like being a technology backup office for most of the companies, now India tech industry is becoming hybrid workforce for global organizations. So to cater this challenge, yeah, we took that route of being remote first company, and this is the way we have addressed this issue. So yeah, this affected us a lot. I can say post pandemic, like 22, 23, we faced a lot of challenges. So 23, towards the last quarter of 23, we announced that we are going to be remote first.
Thank you, Preeti. I know most of the organizations do face this particular challenge. And are we set and ready for a hybrid model? That is also one of those questions which the organization ask themselves. Saba, you have raised your hand, so over to you.
Yeah, I think I heard Preeti saying that you have to be flexible, which is exactly what we did in our organization. I think the way you operate also depends on what is your organization's strategy. For example, for us at Mindsprint, we are a technology solutions and services company. And there are parts of the organization where collaboration is very, very important. And therefore, that face time becomes critical. So we've adopted a hybrid, policy of working, which means depending on which team you are, it could be 2 days, 3 days, which role you are. Having said that, we've also been flexible to the extent that there are certain roles where if you want a fully remote job, we are okay to give that. And I think it becomes a key differentiator for an employer in the talent market if you have those flexibilities at workplace, right? Because after COVID, I think it's a general expectation, especially among the tech talent, that they're looking forward to flexible work arrangements, right? So that's what we've essentially done so far. It's been working well for us, and like I said, I think it's very agile. It's very, we keep pivoting depending on what we really need and what's happening in what pocket of the business.
Exactly. Being flexible is one of the key areas most of the organizations have adopted. Bhavya, you have raised your hand, so over to you on this particular subject.
Yeah, actually, this is a very interesting subject, right? And I think we see, right, there is a lot of resistance from everyone to go to office and work. And so it is my opinion, right? I think what I feel is that because I work with a lot of team members, right? Make sure that they are groomed in the way that they should be groomed, okay? And especially, right, with young talent, okay, it becomes impossible to groom them virtually in the way you want them to fit in our culture, or basically the how they should tackle one particular problem, right? What I feel is that, yeah, I know that work from home is a norm, okay, but I think that most of the individuals, right, who are insisting on work from home, okay, they are missing one particular thing, right? Because when they come to office, okay, they meet other people. And nowadays, I see a lot of people who are working from home, right? They are living in their own shell, okay, and they do not want to come out of that shell. What has happened is that this has actually impaired their learning. now a lot of people, right? Because I remember those days, right, when we used to go to office, right? We used to meet different people, right? We used to exchange ideas, right? We used to learn that what other person is working on, right? And how can I learn that, right? And there was a lot of, you can say, communication that used to happen, where we learn about a lot of new things that are happening in the market, where we learn new technologies, where we get insights into what other people are working on. Okay, and I think that is totally missing from the people, right, who are insisting on work from home. See, it is, if you want to develop yourself, right, you have to come into the field. Okay, you cannot take decisions out of the field. Okay, and then just be secure that yes, I am working from home, right, and I am in a comfortable situation. I do not want to let go of that comfort. I understand there are problems, right? Because people have moved to their native locations, right? And they feel very comfortable there, right? They are very near to the family. But at the end of the day, right, it is actually hampering the people, right? From their from the learning that they can get, right, when they start coming to the office. Okay, I see collaboration wise also, right. I feel a lot of challenge, right, that sometime I'm trying to reach out to people, right, and people are not available, right. I understand it's flexible timing, right, but I think there should be some discipline that we have to maintain to ensure that when you are working from home, right, you are available for a set duration of time, so that people who are trying to reach you out, right, can reach you out. Okay. So I think this trend will not continue for long. Okay, because more and more companies will realize that, okay, so there are people, right, who are maybe 20% of your top talent, which actually works very efficiently from work from home, right? But there are around 40% people, right, who just take it as granted. Okay, and the productivity is not as it should be. Okay. So in my perspective, right, I think the hybrid model will work, right? But we also have to make sure that we do not overdo it, right? So we do not say that, okay, you never have to come to the office. Okay, there are people, right, who don't even know, right, what their colleague looks like. Okay, and I think that is socially as well as fundamentally wrong.
True, very, very true, Bhavya. Avinash, you wanted to say something on this.
Yes, I mean, that
Just
to the next question, adding to what Bhavya said, 40% still kind of are not really productive, and moonlighting as such, is very common. I mean, is it an accepted fact now for organizations to say that it's okay as long as my task is kind of getting done, as long as my productivity is not getting hampered, you may continue to moonlight? Is that an okay norm now, as far as the industry is concerned? I just want to kind of hear from the people here. I know, I mean, Nitin, you have any points on that?
Yeah, thanks, Avinash. I mean, I can see a confluence of views, and everybody on the panel is kind of moving in the same direction. So I tend to actually kind of empathize with what Bhavya said with respect to the hybrid issue. We were a company, I just want to narrate my experience. I think not take more than 30 seconds. We had a no leave tracking policy, no work from home, recording, nothing. You just wanted to kind of go on work from home for like 30 days. You would just kind of inform your, or maybe not even inform, and just, we then decided we need to change our strategy. And we brought in a theory called agility of a startup with the efficiency of a structure. So this was the theme for 2024. And what we've really done now is that we have the same flexibility. You want to go and work from home for 30 days, but it has to be with approval. In the sense, we brought in a maker-checker kind of a concept, wherein you need to justify your absence. Now, what this has done is within 2 months, I'm seeing a culture change in the younger generation. And more people are kind of applying for work from home and applying for leave, so that the delivery partners and the people who are doing production, they are aware of where the team members are. So that is kind of a culture change. I was very surprised in the sense that this particular generation, where you cannot get their attention for more than 30 seconds, if you're not able to get, I call them the sweep generation, if you cannot catch them in 30 seconds, they will not go to the next 5 minutes. So any communication that we are focusing on, the entire communication strategy is a 45-second strategy. So all our messages are less than 45 seconds to read. All our videos are less than 40 seconds to read. And once we generate their attention, then we go on to the next level. The moonlighting part, which Avinash you asked, is I was really surprised. I know one of the Shark Tank videos that programs that I saw. There's a particular startup which actually uses engineer managers and tech leads of other companies to interview your people, because your number of people are so restricted in the sense that they don't have the bandwidth to take 50 interviews, 100 interviews a month. So they've actually come up with a platform where hiring managers and tech managers from other companies are kind of along. So I'm really not sure where to go on this, but I think the theory generally is that moonlighting is unethical because you're kind of committed to one organization. But the other side is today that if you have got a particular task and you delivered it in time with the quality that you desire, can you look away? I'm not sure whether we are ready to take that call or not.
Thank you, Nitin. Thank you. That the moonlighting aspect was my next line of question, but I understand from Nitin about this particular Shark Tank episode, which I also had seen. It was quite shocking enough to understand that something like that do exist over here. So, Dipanwita, you have raised your hand on this particular area. Over to you.
Yeah, so I think this working from home and remote working, of course, a lot of people in one of our business units, a lot of people have actually moved out of Bangalore and permanently, staying in their native places. So one thing that I feel is, when people are just completing the tasks and whatever is being given to them, with that kind of an effort, you do not take the organization to the next level, right? If everybody is working just like a consultant, so many hours of work, I'm finishing my task, that organization does not grow to the next level with that kind of work and effort. You have to have people who put their heart and soul into the company and innovate, collaborate, think, brainstorm. Okay, what is next, what can we do? For that you need to come together. And when they're permanently staying put at home and probably pursuing hobbies and moonlighting and whatever, balancing family responsibilities, they're just doing some tasks which are assigned to them and their responsibilities, that does not take the. So we saw that sorry, innovation and collaboration was highly impacted with a lot of people working from home. So we have tried to bring back a lot of people, and at the same time we have ensured that all our supervisors and managers turn into coaches. They are not just taking task status and assigning tasks, but they're becoming coaches, right? And we are doing events like Technovation Day, and really putting in a lot of effort in trying to make sure that people are inspired to do something new, and that entrepreneurial environment that we said, we have a culture of entrepreneurship, and that is how I, from a delivery manager, I am a head of org development today. So we have that culture. So that is helping bringing people back together, manager acting as coaches, having innovation days, technovation days, where people are showing things that they can demonstrate. We are inviting customers over to come and see our work, and that is helping. But of course, we have not been able to do that in the entire spectrum. There are some people who want to work from home, and we are letting them be. Because if you force them, I think somebody said, the attrition becomes too high. So it's a mix of things, but at the same time, with a fully remote workforce, I think, it becomes difficult to take your organization to the next trajectories. Yeah.
Completely agree, Dipanwita. So most of the time in the organizations, There are all kinds of engagement initiatives which are placed up to attract these candidates into the organization, to ensure that the associates have a lot of fun along with work. And I've seen most of the organization coming up with strategies, as what you have mentioned, the Technovision workshops, and coming together, being with friends, making them feel good about being in the organization, as well as they speak to each other, they feel more in a corporate place, and the productivity goes well. So working in a remote place does not help. And I also, there's another subject which comes up with, there's a lot of emotional issues also which are coming up in most of the organizations in working remotely.
Right.
And we have Preeti also raising the hand over there. So Preeti, over to you to understand a little bit on this particular subject.
Yes, Sonia. So most of the points already you and Dipanwita has covered, which I wanted to, bring to the table. But yes, I totally echo with Bhavya that collaboration, coordination is missing. And whatever video conferencing we does, it cannot replace the in-person connect. It is always virtual. But coming to the moonlighting part and availability part, I can say that when we decided to, with lots of thought process, going through all the research, we decided to be remote first. And what we noticed that since pandemic time, like 2020, 2020, our productivity did not get affected in any ways. Like even post pandemic, starting from 21 also 2022 also, our productivity was same and rather increased, and we were constantly watching it. So what we tried to do at our organization, or that instead of creating managers and bosses, we tried to create leaders where they can always be there for their team members whatever problems they are coming, because it's a lack of coordination and collaboration. So if there is any problem, to whom the person can reach, and to guide them where to go for the right answer, and arranging that as brown paper lunch bag sessions, tech talks, so that the new hires are like quite familiar with the work culture as well as our industry practices. They have created videos, training videos, live project videos, so that people can go through and they can apply that over work. And availability part, if we talk about, when we announced this, we came up with a remote working policy where we have like certain criteria, like if your colleague or manager or someone wants to reach you during office hours, so your availability should be there. Otherwise we are fine in at any point of time to taking the flexibility what we have given to you, because freedom always comes with responsibility, and if you are not able to do that, we are like free to take back that freedom. So yes, we have set up some rules on that.
That's a robust policy which was made up. So did it help, Preeti, after the responsibility was given to them?
Yes, it's helping. And right now, as I said, we are remote first organization only. It's helping, but when with the new hires, we face issues. So we have made a policy that each new hire onboarding process is getting completed at our office. They have to travel to Hyderabad from whichever part from India they are. And our managers are most of them are in Hyderabad, so they meet them, they set their expectations, and yes, it's working out. And the moment we notice that there is some availability issue for any of the resource, so their manager reach them, they guide them, they coach them, and they warn them whatever is required, they do with them, and it works, it's working.
That's a wonderful engagement which Preeti has mentioned. Vishal, over to you on this particular subject. You've raised your hand.
Yeah, I think wonderful contributions, and I like the candidness in which Preeti has shared how they have been agile. My approach or my thought process is that we we cannot have an extremist approach, because I feel anything on an extreme side does not work for long, except that it is R&D or a scientist working on something. I feel there is a moderation that is there everywhere, whether it's moonlighting, whether it's work from home. Now, how do you weave your policy around it is very important. Like, and moonlighting is not a recent phenomena. It has been there earlier. You have cricketers playing cricket, but at the same time they also do ads, right? You have a lot of people going for guest lectures and teaching kind of assignments while they are working, and these are things which can be weaved around with your existing organization, or what the organization is doing. Like, for example, we have a gig approach. We have our candidates, our tech mentors who are practicing mentors, because we allow them to work, or we have a model of them working with software companies abroad or even in India. And that makes them feel fresh and connected to the current trends, current technology. Their mind keeps them active. At the same time, they also can use that and backfill them into the mentoring and coaching assignments that they have. So we give them that flexibility to do that. It's not very easy. I would say that easy to say, but very difficult to model it and put it across. Like Nitin mentioned, we do not have any attendance or any kind of recording or anything of that sort. What I feel is that eventually, if someone is abusing the system, you know, and it's very evident, and you can mentor and coach the person or take the action accordingly. At the end, I would mention that everything is revolving around the passion of what you are doing and how the organization is kindling that passion. Like, would you ever ask, or if you ask Federer or Messi, that were they working at any point of time? Did they ever feel that, oh, I don't want to go to the ground, I don't want to go to the court today? Would you ask, if you ask Sachin, whether you would like to go and not play a match, or you'd not want to play? Are you working while you are playing? I don't think so. It's the passion that carries them, like, or even an industrialist like a J.R.D. Tata or someone. That are they working? No, I think they are just kindling their passion and doing things. And if we are able to do that in a small way, we can generate entrepreneurs, we can generate people who will be loyalists, work, even though they're doing moonlighting, they'll work for you with as much as heart as anyone else would. So that's a larger policy making that the strategist and the leadership has to come around and put it in place. Like for example, what we have the tech gigs kind of an approach internally. So that's the thought process that I have.
Thank you, Vishal. Thanks a lot. And yes, you're very true. I mean, what you have mentioned in terms of engaging them and the project managers guiding the people and trying to understand from them on how exactly passion works in work. It is a strategy which most of us, or most of the leaders in the organization, work out with. So, leading to the next question. Sorry, Shikha, you had something to say.
I mean, on
Shikha?
the similar lines only, actually. So what, Vishal has covered on the similar lines. So we have experienced the same thing, and I mean, it's kind of a mixed approach again. It's an art and science both. So it's a lot depends upon how driven other people, or the social intelligence works, and how curious they are, and a lot of self-driven attitude comes in place. We have seen people who are very curious to come to work. I mean, we also operate under hybrid model, and obviously for certain division is a different kind of an approach we took, because it cannot be a one size fit approach due to the nature of work. And so, so likewise, we have seen some people are very enthusiastic, even without you tell them not to come to office. And there are certain people we have to tell them, please don't come to office. We cannot accommodate because the way we have grown in COVID is like the number. So definitely this year for us to expand and infrastructure wise also is an important step, because we are telling that we are okay that, in a particular division. So it's like a mixed bag. We have dealt with different scenarios, beat it from a moonlighting to see that they're very enthused about work, they wanted to, and beat it where we have to coach managers and employee both. So it's not just one-sided approach that manager has to be driven or an employee has to be driven. The both has to be coached together. So yes, is an overhauling approach which we brought into the nature of a business. So that helped us to stay, and obviously backed up with the right policy guidelines and the technology intervention. So yes, everything, as a combination put across, were able to make more sense for us.
True, Shikha. And yes, organizations were having challenges in terms of accommodating post-pandemic when people started coming back. So that was also one more challenge which people had faced. Yes, Nimisha, this is a kind of a favorite topic among all of us. So Nimisha also wants to contribute to this. Yes, Nimisha, over to you.
Yeah, so I think we've been talking about, definitely this is the topic I think which is going to be never ending, and as you said, right, we all keep on adding our perspective to it. So I just wanted to just highlight about the Gen Z aspect of it also, because now we see the workforce of Gen Z entering into the workforce, right? And how, I just wanted to understand or, see from them, like, if they enter into the workforce and they see the culture of remote work or hybrid, right? The kind of learnings what in the organizations we have, right? The informal learning, the water cooler chats. So those are some of the things which they would be missing. And, so some of them have gone through probably the COVID batch, which is primarily known in education institutes, right? And then you're entering into the corporates, again, you are entering into the virtual world. So more of that informal skills, the people skills, the collaboration, right? So that is something which is going to be a challenge for the people, because we rely a lot now into Gen Z entering in the workforce, right? The kind of innovation, the kind of perspectives they bring in, right? So somewhere, if we still continue, or we have seen people who are already into hybrid, or not hybrid, in fact, remote, right? It is becoming a challenge. And that's the message probably we are creating a challenge for Gen Z also. So the more we adapt to at least hybrid, as some of you had said, which is more to do with the flexible work timings, right? So when we say 1 or 2 days into the work, it is not a stringent 12 to 9 or 9 to 6, but more of a flexible, wherein you have more of collaborations, wherein you have informal gatherings, right? So those are some of the things which would really help, in the Gen Z aspects also. That's my take on it.
That's a very, very important aspect which you have touched, Nimisha. Gen Z, with most of the organization, we started off with the employability for the freshers, and most of the organization training freshers and getting them into the organization. So they form the 75% to 80% of the workforce strength, and engaging them and ensuring that they are when we say happy in quotes, there's much more meaning to that, but that's a real good aspect which you have got into the discussion. Getting on with this particular area, I've just wanted to ask, what are the new talent acquisition strategies which and the best practices which we can adopt to ensure that the associates who are within the organization, who are just hired, the freshers, equally we are able to engage them as well as attract new talent. Given the engagement, given the communication across in the media, we are able to attract the new talent within the organization. So would you like to throw some light on that particular area in terms of the new talent acquisition strategies post-pandemic, which has been taken by most of you all. So I would ask Nitin, in case he can throw some light on this particular area.
So thanks a lot, Sonia. I know everybody has to express their views, as I keep emphasizing, so I'll keep it very, very short. Like I said, that for us, what we are probably doing is that we also realize that we do not just want, technically competent people. We want technically competent people who have the elements of communication, collaboration, and confidence. These three are very, very important to us. So the entire hiring process as such is, once the technical rounds are completed and we find that the person has got that much of learning agility and the basic skills to be able to build on those skills, the make or break in the acquisition process is the culture round. So we put the candidates through certain situations, certain case studies, to certain ways of them explaining a particular challenging situation that they went through. And only when they are able to successfully navigate the cultural round is that they make it into the company. So the strategy is not just on the talent as far as the technical competencies are concerned. There's a very, very significant focus on their soft skills. If you don't make it in the soft skills, you do not exude confidence, you do not exude the energy, the passion, the enthusiasm, all that all of us are today talking about. They're less likely to get into the company. So this is what I wanted to contribute.
Thank you, Nitin. And that's a kind of a firmed up structure wherein during the interview time, we kind of have, how many rounds of interviews would they have to go through, Nitin, on this?
So the whole process is a 5-step process, which is, five, where the first 4 are completely on their technical skills. And the last one, which is about an hour and a half for each prospective candidate, is done by the people success team. And and our opinion is independent, in the sense that even if the hiring manager or the interviewing panel has strongly recommended somebody, if the people success person says that is not a cultural fit, or it does not have the necessary leadership skills, that candidate is not taken on board.
Absolutely right. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Nitin. Shivali, you would like to add on to this particular subject or topic?
Yeah, thank you so much. So Nitin, amazing initiative and insight, that will be helping us all to implement the same in our organizations as well. So I'm sure that in last couple of months after COVID, we at Clensta also have implemented multiple, initiatives to improve the level of the hiring and to have a different set of talent acquisition strategies. So a few amongst, because I'd cut short in 1 minute. So a few amongst that was to introduce employee referrals. So previously, we were doing employee referrals, but not to extent where we were doing some engagement, post related to that. Most people should really refer, So this has really helped us to encourage the current employee to refer a candidate, and while we are ensuring that the quality talent is there onboarded, we are also able to boost the employee engagement and retention. That's one thing that has really helped. Secondly, we have started focusing on the data analytics, that is taking us to predictive hiring. So to have an agile recruitment methodology where we are comparing the database, what the industry standards are, the benchmarks that have been set, how the competitors are doing. So this second element has also really helped us. Another initiative is to start using tech-based enterprise solution. So previously, we were using this traditional options. They were simply posting the job and all. But now, gradually, this tech-based enterprise solution, where end-to-end, start to end, the candidate is engaged very nicely and properly. They are well informed about the decision taken on their candidature. These initiatives have really helped. Apart from that, while we are hiring someone, we on the first or second round of the interview, we are telling and conveying them that the KPIs that we have built for them having two aspects. One, 20% of the weightage is given to the behavioral competency, soft skills, interaction, collaboration, team and multitasking, and 80% will be the technical competency. Alongside this, we have also taken one very important initiative, because when we are hiring a candidate, we notice that there is a lot of being into the manufacturing side. We have NPD team. We are every now and then we are launching new products, because this is a BPC industry. So what we understood, that a candidate has to collaborate a lot within the function. So we started engaging cross-functional panel engagement. So even if we are hiring for, let's say, a marketing role, we are happy to have different department panels who would like to understand that how they will be supporting to enhance their productivity, like their department's productivity. Lastly, social media, of course, is one major focus that we are focusing. And we are able to notice that the more we communicate, the more we are reflecting the initiatives that we're taking on the cultural level. This has really helped us gaining a lot of database in terms of the talented hiring pool that we have created in last couple of years after COVID. So rest, I think I would be happy to understand from you all that what all initiatives you have taken. Thank you, Sonia, for asking this question.
Thank you, Shivali. That was quite exhaustive. And I'm sure with all the design and structure to be put up, you all would have put in a lot of efforts to ensure that we attract the right talent and we have the right set of people in the organization. Thank you so much for that. Shikha, you wanted to mention something on this particular topic.
Yes, I mean, definitely what we are doing there, there's a lot can be done in this space actually. So yes, everybody's contributing as it's the fit approach for them. So, I mean, what us worked out, like, with starting from this pre-onboarding program, which is your 30, 60, 90 days engagement journey, wherein you get touch base at each levels, when they actually come in. And then obviously before we get them into our, business, obviously a job simulation works better. Now, again, it cannot be a fit approach for all the department. It depends upon which department you're hiring from. So there's a job simulation exercise which we run. Obviously, it's a very, behavior and a technical in nature. It covers entire from a situational based, wherein we ask you and give you the technical aspect of to solve, and obviously how your decision making and your collaboration and all your skills are into that assignment being put across. So that is another level which we do, and the buddy program which we have it in place. So when they come, so they have been coached and they are not just left alone in an isolation. And then we also brought an L&D intervention right from a campus to a corporate program for the, when we hire the freshers as well, and mentoring program for them, and the knowledge sharing platform for them. So as I said, the list is, endless. A lot can be innovated and done, and definitely the market mapping is also one of our major projects which we do in. So a lot of talent pipeline which we create through that market benchmarking, so that when we have, because we work with the niche segment a lot, so when we are in that state, we don't have to be, very dependent upon a very fast go-to approach. So a lot of talent pipeline is built into that aspect as well. So that, and obviously the LinkedIn, the ATS, and the referral program. So we keep amplifying the employee referral program also as it comes when we are, when the hiring is in that high pitch. So we keep amplifying this program, Women in Tech, making it very inclusive, not focusing on the gender balance as well, because we don't want it to just go with one approach. And sometimes a lot of departments are very, they said that, okay, we do not want women. So bringing that inclusive practice at all stages, that's what we try to focus and build it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Shikha, for this. Inclusivity is one more area which has a lot more to speak about. And of course, it was quite a comprehensive set of strategies, talent strategies, which has been put up by you all. Thank you for that. Saba, you would like to add on to this?
Yeah, I think very much in similar lines to what other speakers, talked about earlier. I think one aspect that I feel we have really focused on is having a clearly laid out career path for all the employees who are coming into our organization. And how it helps is that when you have a clearly defined career path and people decide where they want to be, they take a lot of ownership in terms of self-development. And if you have the right learning, a culture of continuous learning and right tools and ecosystem to support. For example, we have, various online learning tools, platforms available to the employees. There are options to choose from in-person, virtual, mentorship programs, different classroom programs. And also, if someone wants to pursue, higher education or a specialized education or certification, there's a lot of sponsorship and encouragement from the organization. So that really helps us in, creating those subject matter experts that are needed in the organization, or people who are, generalists who can multitask. It all depends on what really the employee wants to do. And I think the other aspects which have really helped us is having a skill-based hiring approach. What it really means is that when we are recruiting someone, we would like to assess what they are good at, and then how can our training and development team and business complement their strength and train them, cross-train them on other skills to really create a like Bhavya was mentioning, having full stack rounded technology professionals. So that has really helped us. So as soon as somebody comes, to the organization, they know what is it that they have to work on. And therefore, it's a continuous learning process and it's a continuous learning environment. And lastly, I think what we've also done is we have looked at broadening our talent pipeline. And what it means is that rather than going through the traditional hiring channels all the time, we looked at, okay, can we look at different sections of the marketplace which are probably not so much evaluated. For example, looking at only women colleges, or looking at training institutes where somebody who was not placed in the last 1 or 2 years or 3 years has gone through certain training and certification. Can we partner with them and really do hire, train, and deploy methodology? And that has really helped us a lot. Because when those people come in, they have a lot of commitment to prove themselves, and that has really helped us. So overall, I think we've tried different things. We have to have a holistic talent strategy, looking at the skills, the talent pipeline, and the whole career development piece, and different experiences that a candidate would have during the journey hiring process. And when they become an employee, what are those experiences they will have within the organization? So I think you need a lot of design thinking to have this whole design experiences, mapped out, and seeing how can you make an impact at each one of them.
Thank you, Saba. Doing things differently, I mean, most of our organizations do keep checking out on what are the best practices going on. When you are going to the women's colleges as such, is there a specific quota system which you all try to work it out, or is it on merit?
To be honest with you, when we started, we saw that if we did not enforce, quota, it was difficult to get the numbers that we wanted. So just to bring in a little bit of, because if your base is too low, you have to have some targets for you to aspire to become at a, create an equitable environment. So yes, I think if you're going to a women college only, then you know that how many people you really need as a part of your campus batch. We aim for 50% or exceeding that as well in certain pockets. So this has really helped us in bringing in more equity in terms of the representation of women in the organization at the junior levels, and at the middle level and senior levels also. I think this conscious approach of making sure that you're trying to have a balanced slate when you're recruiting, even for mid and senior level, has helped us.
Great. Thank you so much, Saba, for that. So Nimisha, you wanted to add on, and that will be the last one which we'll be taking before summarizing the entire event. So Nimisha, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. And I echo with all others have mentioned. So basically, what we did it or what we started was basically with data analytics, right? To understand the metrics part of it on where we are, what kind of sources, what's the yield ratio, what sources it works best, and the time to hire. And based on that, we saw, the referrals were indeed a great response or the source for the recruitment, and we invested highly on referrals because that's something which is internal. So we went to an extent of having a referral drive, right, which is exclusively only for the referrals, and then engaging them to people person to person because they have come to your office. And then, yes, of course, we have, as all of you mentioned, the 30, 60 days connect and understanding we also started to emphasize during the interaction about the career path opportunity, the learning opportunities, what the aspirations they have, and then accordingly suggesting what all options we have. So during the part of discussion. So the overall, we try to the most important things, two things I would say is one is on the candidate experience. That also we try to discuss that how soon we can have the process completed from the day or from the time the applicant sends the application or right to the time of offer being rolled out. So how best we can work on keeping the candidate updated with all the process, right, with every stage. That's number one. Number two, we also started looking on more of active, that is working with the business leaders to anticipate what kind of skills they are looking at, right? So that is something which we said, okay, from the business point of view, what they are working on, what they could foresee, or whether in terms of attrition, whether working with HRBPs to understand what the kind of pulse, and then working on the strategy to build a passive pipeline. So in terms of IGPs, that is, internal mobility or external. So these are some of the strategies which have been worked on our side.
Thank you, Nimisha. Vishal, quickly, we get on to you and then we go in for summarizing.
Thanks. I just wanted to share in terms of uniqueness that we brought in. There's a recent pilot that we are doing where we are going actually to one of the top 25 universities, setting up a shop and a lab there. And this is in partnership with the industry. So there are about 5 to 6 clients who are trusted clients who are working with us. And we are going to the college, the university, setting up a lab and understanding what the requirement of these clients are, and then translating that into the learnings of these candidates over there. And the initial feedback is that this is something, if it works, then their talent need and the bridging of the gaps is something which will happen. So this is one of the ways of the acquisition, talent acquisition strategies that we are partnering and aiding with. And I think I'm hopeful that this will be successful. Just wanted to share that as an idea.
Great. That's a wonderful set. And you all have listed colleges wherein which are there in your list, which you all go in for when you all understand these requirements from the clients? Or are there any new colleges also which you all invite?
No, there are a few of them who are there in the list, but we are working with one of them to see the model and set, because there are so many hands that are there. There's so many parties involved, and most importantly, the kid is in the 8th semester. So when are they going to come out? How the joining will happen? They have campus recruitments going on. So parallelly, the companies have already given them the offers or pre-offers. So there's so many dynamics, so many balls still in the air. So we'll juggle with them, get a right model, and then open it up to all the universities and work towards that. So that's the aspiration. We believe that this will give us a ready talent pool, more like a database of a ready talent pool or a semi-ready talent pool to be taken to the industry and get started from month one onwards.
Thank you, Vishal. That was a wonderful idea being implemented over there. And thank you, everybody, for such a wonderful discussion. There are a lot of takeaways. I don't know how many pages I have filled with all the ideas which has come in, the discussions which has come in. There are lots of takeaways. And I can just try to summarize it in a minute or two. But the three areas which we have discussed today, or the three major groups of discussions, what we had was, one was on how do we attract talent, or basically the freshers hiring. And most of us went in with a similar suggestion on ensuring that we have a lot of areas wherein the freshers get trained on. There are a lot of cross-training going on for the freshers in the way we have attracted them. We also had Nitin mentioning that the span of concentration, or the span of attention for these freshers are less than 5 seconds. And in 45 seconds, you have to communicate whatever you have to communicate to them. Otherwise, their mind gets switched off. So that's a wonderful takeaway. I know most of us align with this particular thought process. Our second line of discussion was on the moonlighting, as well as how do we take into consideration the hybrid model of working. While all of us were aligned in terms of flexible working space for all the candidates, whether it is lateral or freshers, ensuring that we engage them, and as well as we attract the talent, and we take certain firm penalties or decisions for moonlighting. All this was discussed with lot of points coming in. Something which was a major takeaway for us is when we had Vishal also mentioning about the leaders and the leaders giving them assignments and training over online sessions, as well as the passion which they bring to work. How can we enhance that particular area? We also had Preeti mentioning about the training videos which were being put up in terms of remote working, as well as freedom being given to them comes up with a responsibility. That was a favorite line of mine. In terms of Shikha mentioning in terms of the technology interventions which had come up so that they can attract more talent. Nimisha also mentioned about the Gen Z aspect, which is a very, very important set, given that most of our workforce is from the Gen Z set. Nitin also had mentioned about certain new talent strategies. So that was the third line of question, which we had put it up on the table in terms of the new talent acquisition strategies, which most of us have adopted. So the soft skills and the 5-step interviewing, and if they are not a cultural fit, we do not take them. So that was a secret behind the confidence of that particular organization, of having the right set of people in the right set of requirements. So that was from Nitin. We had Shivali mentioning about the data analytics, technical competency, and the social media interventions in terms of our talent acquisition strategies. We also Shikha also mentioned the 30, 60, 90 day engagement for the candidates, as well as the buddy program and the talent pipeline, which they use for the benchmarking. Women in technology, this was a very wonderful set which was mentioned in terms of Saba mentioning about the career path being designed, and the various talent development programs, the certifications, sponsorship which are being given, which attracts most of the talent. the women intervention and the women college quota, that was a very interesting add-on, Saba. Thank you for that. In terms of Nimisha mentioning about the data analytics and the referrals, in terms of attracting the talent over there, we had a comprehensive set of points being mentioned. And lastly, Vishal had mentioned about taking the requirements from clients and going to specific colleges and ensuring that they align the candidates also in terms of the requirement. We had a wonderful set of points. I could try and cover most of the points over here. Thank you so much, everybody in terms of the panelists were a set of people, a diverse set of people from across the industries. So thank you so much, Avinash, for getting us all together. There's so much of learning today. And I have taken up so many points, and I'm sure if I have missed out anything, y'all can add it on. And thank you, Bhavya, Shikha, Shivali, Nimisha, over here, and Nitin, Dipanwita. If I have missed out anybody, I'm sorry for that. Avinash, you can cover it on for me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Avinash.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much for leading this, discussion so well. It was wonderful. In fact, a lot of learning for all of us. I feel. I think this discussion can just go on and on. 2 hours is too short a time for us to, kind of discuss on this large topic. But I guess we'll keep coming back to you for more. We'll bring you on such kind of platforms again. And what we've also done is we've created a group on LinkedIn where a lot of thought leaders like yourselves come and contribute to a lot of discussions there. We'd urge for you to kind of join that group and leave your comments and put your points across there. It was really wonderful having all of you on this Friday morning. See you all again soon, and have a wonderful weekend going forward. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Very nice meeting everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Sonia,
Thank you.
Avinash, and Shiva. Thanks.
Have a good continuation to your day. Thank you.